Hey everybody, it's Christian from Human Risk, and I want to unpack the story featuring the insurance CEO that I covered in the newsletter. Now, this is an interesting case. He starts off by doing something that is relatively benign. It's a breach of the rules, but all he's doing is hiring his wife, who, according to the regulatory report, was doing legitimate work on behalf of the company, doing some admin, entertaining guests at their home. So that's a sort of legitimate thing to do, and it's slightly beyond me as to why he didn't do the official process. After all, he's not taking money from the company because he's taken a pay cut himself to be able to fund her. So it could presumably have been handled above board. For some reason, he chooses not to do that, gets her to sign an employment contract, and then has to start backfilling with forged paperwork to kind of cover himself later on. In the meantime, he takes the slightly inexplicable decision of increasing her salary quite substantially, such she becomes the second highest paid person in the organization after him. So it's all starting to build up slowly into something where ultimately he is forced to try and intervene in an auditory investigation. He misleads a regulator with his fabricated papers and ends up getting struck off out of the industry. And he'll never work in financial services again. So it's a very interesting case study of how something very small and benign can become something very big and important. And we all suffer from this. If we get away with doing something small, there is a temptation to go even larger. We dip our toe in the water, if you like, and then we decide to go full on and go properly swimming. So if he had been caught or stopped at the first instance when he tried to employ his wife and that had been legitimized, he probably wouldn't have felt a temptation to continue down the path that he did go down, but he wasn't caught, and so he felt emboldened and carried on and went further and ultimately found himself in a position where he was forging documents. That's never going to be a good place to be, particularly in a heavily regulated industry. So fascinating example here of the slippery slope of ethics kicks in, and just because you're not a CEO of an insurance company with a wife that you can employ, watch out for this one in your own decision making as well as in other people's. It can happen relatively easily because it feels like very small steps and you can find yourself in very deep water very, very quickly. Thanks for watching.